Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about marriage in Africa and unpacking the dark side of it. Before we went on a break, we were talking about the responsibility, how marriage is good, but again, people are making marriage to have the dark side and the ugly side. Interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 2114. Sorry. So before we went on a break, we were talking about expectations.
Sure.
And that you said we are coming from a perspective of men understanding that, especially in the dating phase, they are dating and they're not playing the father
role.
figure or
Sure.
the father role. And also it's vice versa. It's a two-way.
Yes.
Because you're also having men who are assuming the same from the women.
Sure.
So how do we narrow this down? And also, when we are dating, what are those roles
Okay.
that a woman or a man should play? And what are those clear lines
Okay.
that should be set?
All right. That's quite a very good question. It lies squarely on what expectations are. There are several things that set up the expectations that people have when they're getting into marriage. One of those factors is their upbringing. How were you raised? What were the roles of your parents in your upbringing? Was the father present? And if he was present, was he playing his role or rightful role as a man in that home? What was the role of your mother? And was she playing the role of a mother or the role of both mother and father? Because we also have to understand that we live in a generation, especially the millennials, most of them have been raised by single mothers, and then they are the parents now to the Gen Zs that we are seeing now. And the Gen Zs now are giving way to the Gen Alphas who are coming up. So there's a lot that has changed in society in terms of the family setup that have also affected the expectations that people have when they're getting into a relationship. If, for example, a lady grows up with an absentee father, chances are when she's looking for a marriage partner, she wants somebody who will not only be a husband, but also play the role of a father. So whether she knows it or not, subconsciously what she's looking for is a father. And that's why you'll see, even in the choice of a marriage partner, most young girls will want to date mature men, and sometimes even family men who have proven that they can provide. They have proven track record of being a father, because they see them how they raise their children, and especially their daughters. And that's why you'll see very many young ladies going for these married men who have a proven track record, because in their mind, subconsciously, what they're looking for is a man who will be present, a man who will provide, a man who will protect, something they missed when they were young. And vice versa, when you have boys who are growing up with an absentee father, again, they are yearning for a father figure, or the only figure they know is a mother. So when they're also dating, they want to date somebody like their mother, somebody who provides, somebody who protects, somebody who guides, because that's the voice they've been hearing since childhood. So chances are that this young man will become a Ben 10 and want an older woman to take care of him. And so when you told me earlier that we have very many lazy young men, that came to mind, that we have young men who want a provider as opposed to them providing in the relationship. So they want a lady who will care for them, will take care of them. So that's why you'll see many young men not being ashamed to choose women who would be older than them, something that would be frowned upon years ago. But right now it has become the norm in society. We have very many young ladies going for married or even for older men, and ladies also who don't mind being wife number 3, wife number 2, which in a few years ago would be frowned upon, because we were coming from an age where women were being empowered to fight for their rightful role, even in a marriage setup. So we were looking at polygamy as something that is oppressive against the woman. But now we have women, young ladies, educated, who don't mind being wife number two, provided the man will provide, the man will protect, the man will take care of her bills. So they don't really mind. And they are happy playing role of wife two or wife three to a man. So expectations, when it comes to expectations, how you were raised determines what your expectations would be. And that is why it's important, like I said from the beginning, to prepare yourself for marriage and ask yourself, am I really ready? And what aspects of my upbringing, my history, my past relationships, whether with my parents or with people who are related with before, affect or could affect the way I perceive my potential marriage partner, whether it's a man looking for a woman or a woman looking for a man to marry her. So if you find a lady who is looking for a father figure, and as a young man, you are just getting out of college, you are probably depending on your parents for some pocket money, but you're starting yourself off in life. You've gotten your first job. You can't really play a father figure for that lady. You can't provide as much as she expects of you. You can't be as present as much as she expects. You're busy hustling. So she might wrongfully conclude that you are not therefore the right man for her, which is a wrong thing to think. Because generally when you're dating, what you're looking for is a partner who will walk with you in the journey of life, somebody you'll grow together with. Unfortunately, people now want shortcuts. We have young men who don't want to be a provider, a protector, and play all those roles that we traditionally believed belong to men. So we have men who don't mind a woman providing for them. We have women now who don't mind providing for a man. So it's a society that has so many dynamics coming into play, and that affects how we view marriage and how we see marriages being set up in modern society. So expectations are a good thing to manage. So as you're looking for a marriage partner, what are your expectations? Are they realistic? Are they achievable? Because some of the expectations that people have are wild. For example, if you expect that your partner will make you happy, then don't get married. You'll be disappointed. Your partner's role is not to make you happy, in as much as their role is to fulfill you and help you achieve your happiness. So whatever your happiness is, you have to define it first before you bring a man into the picture, before you bring a woman into the picture. Your wife is not there to play the role of your mother. If you missed your mother, too bad. Life dealt with you the way it did, but your wife will never be your mother, and she'll never play that role. So it's important for people to have realistic expectations and to actually manage those expectations so that they are realistic and they don't get disappointed. So the many cases of divorce that we are seeing, many cases of separation we are seeing, is because people went into marriage with unrealistic expectations, expecting that the man will bring happiness or the woman will bring their peace and joy and be a good mother, only to find that that is not the reality on the ground. So it's important to be prepared for eventualities. And also when you talk about expectations, you might have all the realistic expectations as a man, all the realistic expectations as a woman, but sometimes life just happens. And that is why it's important to be prepared in terms of prepare for the unexpected. Why am I saying that? Because the person you're marrying is incomplete, is a work in progress. When you're marrying a lady, you're not marrying a wife. You're marrying somebody's daughter who's looking for a husband. So you have never been a husband, or even if you've been a husband before, for those who have separated and are looking into getting the dating game again or getting into marriage again, you've never been a husband to this lady. You've never been a wife to this man. So it's a learning curve for both of you. So you're still discovering them, just like they're discovering themselves. So chances are, and the reality is, that the man you're marrying or the woman you're marrying is a work in progress, and they are yet to discover even stuff about themselves. They are learning themselves and they are growing right in front of your eyes. So there are things that will shock you later on, because you'll be like, I never saw this. I never expected this of you. But you see, you never saw it because life had not provided an opportunity for that to unravel or to unfold. It's unfolding right in front of you. You'll have to deal with it. And that's what I mean when I say, when you're getting into marriage, whatever your expectations, get into it expecting the unexpected. When you expect the unexpected, you'll never be disappointed. You'll be like, oh, I never saw this coming, but I think we can handle it. How do we navigate it? Do we need a third party? Do we need intervention? Or can we handle it ourselves? So you'll be ready for the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected.
Sure.
It's easier said than done, though.
Sure.
So moving on, I understand you're running out of time, but what are the solutions moving forward?
Solutions. We've said from the beginning that marriage is a good thing. It's an institution that is ordained by God. It's meant to continue the good work of creation together with God or for God. And therefore, it's a holy union, so to speak. However, because of life and the way life has been and the way life is evolving, as human beings, we are weak. As human beings, we are mortal, and we are innately bound to be wicked. So there's a dark side to every good human being. That dark side might manifest itself in the way we relate with one another, whether as colleagues, and in this topic as marriage partners. That dark side might unfold. It is your duty, first of all, to understand what that dark side is, in terms of evaluating yourself, in terms of seeking counseling, in terms of empowering yourself, in terms of self-awareness, so that you know what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. And as I'm going to start a relationship with another human being, do they know themselves? Can I help them see themselves? And as you're helping each other see yourselves in this, because we talk about everybody having a part of them that they do not know. So it is your partner who reveals some things to you. And you'll reveal some things to your partner, whether your husband, your wife. There are things about them that only another person can see. And that's what makes marriage a beautiful thing, that you actually help to discover each other and uncover each other's nakedness in ways that nobody can. And that's why it's important to be vulnerable in a relationship. But for you to be vulnerable in a relationship, you have first of all to be in a safe space before you are vulnerable to somebody else. Vulnerable to yourself, accepting your weaknesses and working towards strengthening yourself and becoming a better person. So that when it comes to marriage, you are now ready to be faithful, you are now ready to commit, you are ready to provide, you are ready to submit. And if you're not ready, then don't get into it. Otherwise, you'll create one very dark, toxic environment, not just for yourself, but for your partner, and God forbid, for the children that come into that union. So it's important to prepare. It's important to have realistic expectations. It's important to seek help and counseling before you get to marriage. And also for those who are married, because you'll go through the ups and downs of life, it's important to seek help. Seek marital counseling. Seek post-marital counseling. Continue learning, because it's a learning curve. You never really know your partner until you know them. So keep learning.
Your last words?
My last words, for those getting into marriage, please get into marriage. It's a good thing. Ignore the topic, the title of the topic that we had today, the dark side of marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. We encourage everybody who's ready, prepared, equipped to get into it and work on it. And marriages don't work. The couples do the work.
Thank you so much, Mr. James, for coming and for honoring our invite.
My pleasure.
Viewer, let's continue this conversation online across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. My home tech is marriage don't work, the couples make marriage work. And always expect the unexpected. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.